Now in the ReliefFactor.com studios, sitting in for Mike today, here's Joey Hudson.
Golf Thanksgiving week. Glad to have you in. Yes, I'm Joey Hudson from upstate South Carolina, sitting in for Mike as he takes some very much needed time off this week. Hope you'll join the conversation today. 800-655-MIKE, 1-800-655-6453. Your phone calls are welcome, as are your comments on the MyPillow text line. When you choose option 1, Tracy will put you in queue. We'll talk as time permits. Option 2, you can leave a quick message. You can also email me, joey@joeyhudson.com. Hope you'll check out my podcast, Just the Truth. Just go to joeyhudson.com and subscribe to it. You can also text the keyword Joey. Just text my name to Mike's text line, the MyPillow text line, 800-655-6453. Just text Joey. I'll send you a quick link. We got a lot to cover as we kick off this Thanksgiving weekend. Sadly, yesterday we learned the news that former First Lady Rosalynn Carter had passed away at her home. On Friday, we received the news that she was under hospice care, and we know that she has been in ill health for quite some time now. She was 96 years old, the wife of the 39th president of the U.S., just being admitted to hospice on Friday, passing away yesterday with her family by her side, we're told. Former President Carter released a statement saying, "Rosalynn was my equal partner in everything I ever accomplished. She gave me wise guidance and encouragement when I needed it. As long as Rosalynn was in the world, I always knew somebody loved and supported me." The Carters had 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 14 great-grandchildren. Our prayers certainly with former President Jimmy Carter. President Joe Biden is seeing some of his support decrease among Democrats because of his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. We'll get into some of the details of that. And also, yesterday, Deputy National Security Advisor Jonathan, let's see, he was on with Meet the Press. Sorry, lost my thought there for a minute. Jonathan Fine was on Meet the Press and says that they're closer than ever to reaching some deal to release the 240 or so hostages that we think that Hamas is hiding in the tunnels below Gaza. In cut number 1, Kristen Welker asked Jonathan Finer for some of the details of what that deal could possibly look like. Cut number 1.
So, John, let's delve into the details of this breaking news. NBC News has confirmed, based on conversations with 2 sources who are familiar with the negotiations, that they are closing in on a potential deal to release some of the hostages in exchange for a pause in the fighting. How close are they to a deal? What can you tell us?
Well, what I can say at this point is that some of the outstanding areas of disagreement in a very complicated, very sensitive negotiation have been narrowed, that I believe we are closer than we have been in quite some time, maybe closer than we have been since the beginning of this process to getting this deal done. And we are following this minute by minute, hour by hour, and have been for a number of weeks.
When asked whether these potentially released hostages or women and children, Finer declined to answer, again, not giving very specific details. He's explained that, quote, "it would not be helpful to the completion of the deal to discuss more specifics." He also declined to say whether a prisoner exchange was part of the discussion. There's been some suggestion that that could be part of what Hamas is wanting, is a prisoner exchange. In the same interview, Ms. Welker pressed Mr. Finer over whether the U.S. is confident that Israel is following international law when it comes to its operations, its ground operations in Gaza, with the Biden administration official appearing to dodge that question in cut number 2. Welker pointed to comments made by Qatari Prime Minister, who said that that Israel's actions at the hospital were a war crime. This comes about a week after Israeli Defense Forces revealed that it was going through with an operation at the hospital. Of course, we know that Hamas, the terrorists, have been using hospitals and schools and other places that should be safe for young children and families as a shield, hoping to protect themselves. When asked if the U.S. stood by Israel's assessment that Hamas is headquartered underneath these hospitals and schools, Feiner reiterated that U.S. intelligence also supports the fact that, yes, Hamas, the terrorists, have been camping out literally in these hospitals in cut number 2.
Does the White House stand by Israel's assessment that Hamas is headquartered underneath the hospital? And are you confident that Israel is following international law?
We've been quite clear about our view of Shifa. Shifa is the largest hospital in Gaza. It is the most advanced hospital in Gaza. There are severely ill patients there. There are also a number of civilians who have gathered there to seek refuge during the course of the conflict, and those lives need to be protected. But we have been equally clear that our intelligence, U.S. intelligence information, not just Israeli intelligence information, suggests that Hamas has used al-Shifa in an unconscionable way as a command and control facility for the planning of terrorist attacks and the execution of terrorist attacks, and continues to do so. That does not, in our view, mean that Israel should conduct airstrikes on the hospital or ground assaults on the hospital. We've been equally clear about that. But Hamas has put these people in severe jeopardy by the way in which it's conducting this war. So this is a microcosm of the real challenge associated with this entire conflict, and we've laid out our position. It's the same position I've just articulated.
Welker then asked again, pressing Feiner, are you confident Israel is following international law? Saying, just give me a yes or no answer here. This is cut number 3.
Are you confident Israel is following international law, John? Just yes or no there.
We are confident that it is our position that it needs to. When we have seen issues that are raised based on incidents on the ground, we raise them privately and directly with the government of Israel.
John, let me just, you're saying that Israel
play judge and jury on this question.
Yeah, let me just follow up quickly. You said Israel needs to follow international law. Are you confident they are following international law?
What I can say is it is not our position, certainly my position as a policymaker, to play real-time judge and jury on the question of any particular incident. When we see things that concern us, we raise them. We have done that during the course of this conflict. We will continue to do that. And again, just to restate it, it is our position that all countries, including Israel, including the United States, need to adhere to laws of armed conflict.
Deputy National Security Advisor Jonathan Feiner yesterday on Meet the Press. Look, we just have to pray that our country is doing everything that it can to get the release of these hostages. And then, hopefully, just let the Israelis do their work from there in cleaning up Gaza so that we're not going down this same path a year from now, 2 years from now, or whenever that might be.